Are you serious? Are you serious? We're 2 hours away. The webinar will be released. If you got a ticket, it's coming to you in an email, coming right to you in your email at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's about 2 hours from now. Let me just say real fast, and you won't believe what my friend the world has declared in this webinar. I'm going to play it for you in just a moment. First, let's put a shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. The U.S. dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 1970s, when the dollar decoupled from gold, when we got off the gold standard, and the government seems bent on continuing this tradition. From now until next elections, the government can print as much money as they want. And the last time they did that, inflation went up 9%. Gold is the one asset that has proven to withstand inflation. Gold, a biblical currency, and you can invest in gold at noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. You will also get this 24 karat, 1/4 of an ounce gold coin for free if you invest in noblegoldinvestments.com with a gold or silver IRA or roll over that 401k. Get a hold of noblegoldinvestment.com. Do it right now. Pick up the phone. Call them at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And tell them that Pastor Paul Begley sent you there. Oh, man, you'll be happy you did that. I'll tell you that. No doubt about it. Okay, now, having said these things, guys, it is insane. It is insane what Mike from around the world is saying in this webinar. And so I'm going to play it for you in just a moment. I want to first just say quickly, if you need a ticket, if you haven't got your ticket, you can do this. The phone lines are going to be open all night, at least till 10 p.m. this evening, Eastern Standard Time. And you can call right now, 3 phone lines, or just go to my website. If you want to, just go to my website. Go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. And get your ticket. Click it, get your ticket. Don't miss it. Or you can call 765-414-2230 or 765-414-6299 or 689-220-8082. Okay? 3 lines, 10 speakers, nearly 10 hours of information on aliens above and below. Yeah. And let me just tell you right now, again, those 3 phone numbers are 765-414-2230 or 765-414-6299 or 689-220-8082. That's 689-220-8082. You've got 3 lines. Call them. If one's busy, call the other one. If that one's busy, call the other one. But absolutely get your tickets. Do not miss this. Absolutely do not miss this. Matter of fact, are we alone? Are the reptilians trying to rule the world? Is the New World Order in on the gig? What is it that Mike from around the world is saying? What kind of documents may have wound up in Mar-a-Lago? And exactly, I mean, is it what? Mike is saying what? That it could be that they have UAP documents or UFO documents. And that might be part of the reason you're seeing a rush now to hurry with the disclosure, because if they don't disclose it, it could come out of Trump's camp. Because look, and here's the deal. What is it they're disclosing? Well, we've been preaching to you for almost 40 years that this new world order, this one world government is coming. It is coming. You can't stop it. It is the beast kingdom, and that's why it's called a beast. And the Bible even says that it comes up out of the, I saw a beast rising up out of the sea. Let's check this out. I want you to hear. I'll tell you what. Mike Around the World's interview I did with him is fantastic. It's incredible. But at the same time, let me just say this. It's shocking Now, Mike has always been upfront with us. He's always give us information that comes to pass. I mean, there's no way anybody could have predicted the pandemic 4 months before it even started, when no one even heard of it. Yet he already had the intel on it, knew it was going to be released, even told us that millions of people would start dying in China in March of 2020. How many times? Well, this info is so insane, but because it's Mike, and so many times, it has come to pass. I listen. I'm listening. And then I go back and I look at that Bible and I wonder, is this what the scripture really, really meant? Let's go now and listen to Mike from around the world. Here's 5 minutes of his presentation on the webinar tonight. This is just 5 minutes of it. It's incredible. I'm just going to give you a little taste of it. And then it's about a 70-minute interview. You can listen to it tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Get your link.
I'm doing well today, Pastor. Good to be here.
Good to have you. I know we're excited about hearing what you got to reveal for us and help us understand. I mean, this is a big subject. Some people blow it off as if it's not even important. It's crazy. It's Looney Tunes. But at the end of the day, it seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger with all the disclosure seemingly going on. So I guess we want to just start here with, I think the only thing you said to me was, this is going to be good. And, oh boy, we're going to dig into Leviathan's kingdom. So what do you mean by that, Mike? What do you mean?
Well, Leviathan, everybody knows the biblical creature, Leviathan. Some demonologists know the entities that call themselves Leviathan, but Leviathan, in a sense, is a very vast kingdom.
Okay, I can see we're having a problem. Hang on a second. Thought I had this solved, so give me just a moment here, because I did something not quite right. But I'll find it, I hope. Right? Will I find it? I think I will. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm so sorry. Welcome, everyone, again to another great installment of this webinar, Aliens Above and Below. And joining us this afternoon for this tremendous installment of this webinar is none other than Mike from around the world. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing well today, Pastor. Good to be here.
Good to have you. I know we're excited about hearing what you got to reveal for us and help us understand. I mean, this is a big subject. Some people blow it off as if it's not even important. It's crazy. It's Looney Tunes. But at the end of the day, it seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger with all the disclosure seemingly going on. So I guess we want to just start here with, I think the only thing you said to me was, this is going to be good. And, oh boy, we're going to dig into Leviathan's kingdom. So what do you mean by that, Mike? What do you mean?
Well, Leviathan, everybody knows the biblical creature, Leviathan. Some demonologists know the entities that call themselves Leviathan. But Leviathan, in a sense, is a very vast kingdom, much like the beast in Revelation with the 7 heads. Right. Mm-hmm. It is now here's the difference though. You have spiritual things and you have real things. This is in fact a real thing. The space agencies, beyond with NASA. NASA began by going in the oceans, right? And they were investigating things in the oceans. Well, they lost quite a few people and they stopped going in the oceans. They just abruptly stopped and said it would be easier to pursue space rather than to pursue the oceans. In fact, every space agency and every enthusiast, government enthusiast, back then abandoned research in the deep trenches of the ocean. So one of the question was, what did they find that was so bad? Well, in the intelligence community, it's known that they lost a lot of personnel going in the oceans. And so they completely abandoned everything. Well, since that time, there have been, there's lots of evidence, lots of stories, historical, the whole historical precedents, that something is happening in the oceans, right? It's a place that people can't see. It's under guard. by the military. They have patrols and so forth and so on, and they will not allow people access to certain parts of the ocean. And probably the reason why is, as of late, as of the 2000s, with more people traveling on aircraft, there have been lots of things confiscated from aircraft, like cameras and photographs of the ocean lighting up like a light bulb, right?
Okay, yep. I remember you saying that.
A lot of people, they didn't know if it was volcanism. They didn't know if it were, if there was just massive activity or fishing boats that they caught on the surface. But the ISS took some very revealing images. They'll likely release these later on, those images, which show clear traffic going in and out of the oceans. In fact, the UAP issue, the UFO issue, most of those craft originate from the oceans. Most of those craft are seen on radar from originating from the oceans and going back into the oceans. And so it is a very busy place. Well, in ancient times, Pastor Paul, there were some incidences, and I'll give you one. One incident was, I believe it happened back in the 1500s. A city, some people were out in a city, and it was a long time ago, but these creatures that looked like half crocodile, half fish, half people came out of the oceans.
What?
And they were very robust. They walked out of the oceans with crocodile heads, lots of them, and they were carrying some sort of a chariot, looked like a chariot, and something was in that chariot. And a lot of people died that day from heart attacks.
Did they walk upright?
Yes, they walked upright.
But it had but they looked like crocodile heads, so they were like reptilian type entities.
They had crocodile heads with the elongated heads and everything, very robust looking things, but also with scales. Some of them, most of them had scales. The front line of these things, as was given by the witnesses, had crocodile heads. Some had fish heads. And of course, they were humanoid in appearance, but they all received a communication, and the communication was because they didn't hurt anybody, right? These were the witnesses said they were warlike. It was very terrifying, but all of them received a communication. Nothing was said out loud, but it wasn't time yet, and that whole group of things turned around and walked back in the ocean. Nobody ever saw them again. And the same thing happened in the 1500s. It happened a few other times. One of the some of the documents from these happenings are horrific.
Wait a minute. I just wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Just 1 second. Wait a minute. Sorry about that. When I'm trying to play that for you, I have to change all these settings, and so it does sound a little distorted the way I'm doing it, but it's not distorted when you listen to it on the webinar. It's perfectly clear. When he said some of the documents, it's quite horrific, and then I stop him there because, as you guys know, last night Mike confirmed with us last night, and you haven't heard this anywhere on the news or even anywhere on the web, but some of the documents that wound up in Mar-a-Lago, President Trump had the right to declassify anything and everything he wanted, so I don't think it's a crime at all. How can it be? Every president does it. But having said that, some of the documents apparently that he took to Mar-a-Lago were not just declassifying these sensitive documents. There were documents in there that he's not even supposed to see, that are on a as needed basis only. They were on UAPs, on UFOs and UAPs. According to Mike from the World, he got some of those documents and got them to Mar-a-Lago, and that's what freaked everybody out at the New World Order, basically. And that's one of the reasons that they went in basically guns blazing when they took a bunch of stuff out. Apparently, they probably searched till they found those. Those were the big ones. But having said that, even so, why would you freak out over that unless there's something very, very sinister going on, very serious about this whole alien disclosure? And what you just heard from Mike from around the world. Now, that's the first 5 minutes. The interview is about 70 minutes long. I can tell you it's an incredible interview. And I just want you to know that it's stunning, the information that he goes on to reveal in this. It will help you understand. But when he said that these humanoids with crocodile heads come out of the ocean and then later went back in, and that these are in the files, these have been seen as in recent, meaning probably within the last 50 to 60 years at least, if not sooner. He also says it's documented that this happened back in the 1500s. Of course, everybody's going to think that's some kind of legend or tale, but apparently not. When you look in the Bible, you read about the 7-headed monster, this beast that comes out of the sea. And so there you see, that's what John the Revelator saw. And then he begins to break it down. And that this represents, of course, the coming of the Antichrist, the coming of the New World Order, the coming of the beast kingdom. These very interesting. These are reptilians. These are, shape-shifting reptilians. These are demonic in nature, totally. And so now we're starting to understand why this webinar is called Aliens Above and Below. Because if you study the Bible like I have, Lucifer may have fallen out of heaven from above with a third of the angels. But demons and Nephilim and Rephaim and the fallen ones have also, besides being in the prince of the powers of the air, they've also walked on the planet, and they have entrenched themselves below, including Leviathan, who is the demon serpent of the sea, including Apollyon, who crawls out of the bottomless pit, including Hemoth, the monster of the forest or of the earth, and then others. And then the fire-breathing dragons that you can read about in the book of Job. All of this is in the Bible. Okay, so we need to take a time out and say, is the Word of God true or not? I think that's what we need to do. And when you listen to all of these different speakers, you will start to get the big picture. And people will fall dead of heart attacks. Jesus even said it. Men's hearts will fail them for the fear, for looking after those things that are coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven are going to be shaken. Now, if you don't have your ticket, right now's the time to get it, okay? Right now's the time to get it. Just go right now to paulbegleyprophecy.com. This webinar is starting in less than 2 hours. It's going to be released to everyone who's got a ticket. It'll be sent to your emails. You'll get your link exactly at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's 10 different speakers. Incredible information. All you got was 5 minutes of Mike around the world. That's all you got. There's 10 different speakers. Incredible information. It's the best webinar ever put together on the subject of aliens, UFOs, UAPs. Avi Loeb, Mike from around the world, Stan Deyo, Stephen Bassett, L.A. Marzulli, Laura Eisenhower, Marshall Masters, Rex Bear, Bart Begley's documentary, and Pastor Paul Begley, all of it in this nearly 10 hours of aliens above and beneath or below. And it is absolutely stunning the information that we will learn in this. I can promise you that. So I wanted to play that. I wanted you to know. Now, if you need a ticket, you can go right to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. go to paulbegleyprophecy.com or pick up the phone and call. We have 3 numbers available right now, and they are 765-414-2230 or 765-414-6299 or 689-220-8082. That's 689-220-8082. The scoffers, yeah, Solomon's right. The scoffers will see. He's exactly right. The Bible told us these things were coming. Even the church has kind of said, we don't want to talk about these giants in Genesis 6. We don't want to talk about the serpent walking up on 2 feet, talking to Eve in the Garden of Eden. A humanoid serpent-looking thing. We don't want to talk about those 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the beast, out of the mouth of the false prophet, out of the mouth of the dragon. We don't want to talk about God explaining to Job Leviathan. We don't want to talk about Planet X. We don't want to talk about the heavens shaking. We don't want to talk about the deep impacts of Revelation 8. We don't want to talk about the beast kingdom in Revelation 13. We don't want to talk about the sun scorching men so much that they gnaw their tongues for pain and blaspheme God in Revelation 16. We don't want to talk about Apollyon crawling out of the bottomless pit, out of the pit of Abaddon, the destroyer in Revelation 9:11. We don't want to talk about that this beast that comes out of the bottomless pit then kills the 2 witnesses in Revelation 11:7. No, nobody wants to talk about Behemoth, who God explains is a strong, monstrous beast that could drink a river coming up out of the forest. I mean, this thing is way worse than what you even could imagine Sasquatch to be. We're talking about a beast monster. No, we don't want to talk about the fire-breathing dragon that God speaks about in Job chapter 41. No, people don't want to talk about. Most religious people, most pastors don't even want to talk about these things. The Pope don't want to talk about these. Nobody wants to talk about these things, but they're right there in your Bible. They've been there the whole time. And they don't even want to talk about the giants. They don't even want to talk about the giants in Noah's day. They don't want to talk about the giants in Joshua's day when he had to kill all these tribes of giants as he was taking the land of Canaan. They don't want to talk about these things because if you do, then you got to deal with the supernatural. Then you're going to deal with the demonic entities that can manifest themselves in many different types of forms of creatures and reptilian and scaly demonic features. Plus, Satan's real good. He don't have to be a monster. He can make himself look like a preacher. He can look like the angels of light. He can come off seductively sweet. They don't want to talk about why people have been having encounters, abductions, probing, pregnated, tormented. They don't want to talk about this because if you do talk about this, then you have to talk about the Bible. And if you talk about the Bible, then you have to ask yourself why you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ. They don't want to go there. The New World Order. They don't want to go there. So I'm telling you, this webinar is critical information. And Heidi was very good. She's magnificent how she was able to contact all these different speakers to give their firsthand accounts, their information, to help us get an overall perspective. I mean, nobody wants to talk about the occult, the occult origins of darkness has to do with aliens being revealed. Nobody wants to talk about Aleister Crowley. Nobody wants to talk about Adolf Hitler. No one wants to talk about Jack Parsons. Nobody wants to talk about L. Ron Hubbard. They don't want to talk about these guys. How that they were summoning, conjuring demons to help them get in contact with the aliens, the extraterrestrials of the last days. It's a new world order. Did you actually think that this New World Order was just politics? Politics is the most limp-wristed, weakest part of all of this. That's the truth. Politics. That's playthings. That's tiddlywinks compared to the New World Order, to the darkness. Guys, you can get your ticket right now. People are doing it. They're doing it right now. They're getting them now. Here's what's going to happen. Every person that gets a ticket and watches this webinar over the course of this weekend, I'm going to hear from you. By the time I do my live Sunday night show, it'll be unbelievable how people are going to say, thank you, Pastor. Unbelievable. Incredible. The most clarity I've ever heard on this subject. Thank you for this webinar. Unbelievably amazing. And then there's going to be some of you who are saying, but I didn't get it. I didn't watch it. I couldn't, I wasn't able, or I couldn't do it, or I didn't even try, or I just hoped it would go away. And then you're going to be sitting there saying, what in the world are these people talking about? Why is it that they are so enlightened to this whole situation? Don't be that guy sitting home saying, I wonder what they're watching tonight. I wonder what it's about. Don't be that guy, okay? Don't be that guy. So get a hold of the phone, call. If you need help with getting a ticket, there's 3 phone lines are open. The main line, 765-414-2230, or call the second line, 765-414-6299, or call the third line, 689-220-8082, okay? All 3 lines are open. If one's busy, call the next one. If that one's busy, call the next one. Or if that one's busy, call the next one. Or if you can do it yourself, just go straight to our website and order your ticket right now. And then at 6 o'clock, in an hour and 39 minutes, the webinar will be released. Now, and if you're watching me right now and you're saying, oh my Lord, I missed it. It's after 6 o'clock. You haven't missed anything. The phone line is going to be open all night, all evening long. You can order and still get your tickets. You can still go to publiclyprophecy.com and order. Okay. But if you do it now, if you'll do it now before 6, it will be released to you at 6. If you do it after, okay, you got to give me some time to get caught up and get your email to you, but we'll get it to you. If you call us and order after 6, we'll give it to you on the spot. Okay, so this is why we always say get them early so that at 6 o'clock I can release them. So right now, now's the time. Do it now. Do it right now. Get your ticket, because I just tell you something. I just think people need to know, we just need to know. And we can't say everything on an open forum here. There's no way. What I gave you so far, what I've talked about, what I can do, I'm going as far as I can go. But you need the rest of you need the story. We're in the end times. I'll be back in a few minutes. Let me catch my breath. We're in the end times. It's insane info. Some of you just need to do it. You just need to do it. This thing goes live at 6 o'clock. But you can still get your ticket all evening long. You can get your ticket tomorrow. But do it now. So you'll be getting it at the same time as everyone else at 6 p.m. Eastern. Go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Number one thing to do, because of all this insanity, give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time. We really are. Aliens. Above and below. I'll be back with more.